Well, we're standing outside the courthouse in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where we just had a hearing on the New Mexico governor's public health orders. And you all might remember that we filed on that in 20 hours after the governor issued this ridiculous order suspending the Second Amendment. And now we're in a hearing here today in Albuquerque in this federal courthouse where a federal judge went and looked at our motion for preliminary injunction. And with me is our chief counsel here, Barry Arrington. And Barry came in from Texas to swing the bat, so to speak. And how do you think what were we trying to do, and how do you think we did?
Okay, so as you know, I got a call from National Association for Gun Rights on Friday evening, and they said the New Mexico governor has just suspended the Second Amendment, basically in all of Albuquerque. And I said, okay, let's go. And within a day, less than 24 hours, we had a federal lawsuit filed and a motion for temporary restraining order in place. And then the following Wednesday, I believe it was, the court issued a temporary restraining order restraining the law. And in the meantime, after that, the court, instead of just backing off from their obviously unconstitutional conduct, they said, all right, we'll pare this down and try to get some of this. And so they pared the order down to 3 places: parks, playgrounds, and places provided for children. And we came in and said, wait a minute, there's still no analogs in the founding era for suspending people's Second Amendment rights in public spaces.
Before you get too deep into that, though, Barry, remember that it's worth discussing this concept that why did the governor change her public health order? And I believe it's simple. Even her own people started fighting with her. And
exactly.
Even David Hogg said, that's crazy, you can't do that. And her own party did. Now, I think to some degree, her original public health order was empty-headed liberal theology as well as kabuki theater to become a national prominent Democrat, which in the Democratic Party, all you really needed to go do is say crazy leftist things, and you're automatically a superstar. And so I think that's why she originally did it, one of the many reasons. But there are legitimately a lot of bad things happening in Albuquerque, and this is the numbers are a little rough on shootings, and we have some discussion on why. But the fact is, I think she got spanked by this judge the first time in the temporary restraining order. Even
spanked hard.
Even an Obama-appointed judge wouldn't rule in her favor. And then she came back and amended it and said parks, playgrounds, and places where
provided for children.
Whatever that children. Means. Yeah. It makes the brain hurt to try to come up with that. So today what we were doing was trying to get the judge to issue a preliminary injunction.
Against the amended order this time.
Against the amended order.
So we filed a supplemental motion for preliminary injunction against the amended order, saying she's still, even though she pared it down, it's still unconstitutional. And interestingly enough, we added not just Second Amendment arguments under Bruin, but we also added what are called 14th Amendment vagueness arguments, saying a person of average intelligence can't understand what the law means, especially with respect to where it applies, because they have this crazy statistical metric that you have to work through before you even know whether the law is applicable or not. And then even if you work through that statistical metric, you're still not in the clear because you don't know where it applies. For example, what does it mean, places provided for children? I thought, well, maybe this means places like McDonald's playground places or something like that. But when asked by the court, the governor's lawyers mean swimming pools, community centers. And I go, whoa!
Everywhere. It was anywhere. Anywhere you could possibly think there's a kid's seat or a kid could be.
What she has just done is brought the entire prior public health order. She basically said all of Albuquerque, if children, anywhere children can be in Albuquerque, is now a gun-free zone.
And the governor's own lawyer admitted, because this public health order, the amended public health order, expires in just a few days.
Right.
But but admitted the governor plans on extending it for another 30 days.
It's a certainty the governor plans to extend it. And the reason that was important is this is doctrine in the law called mootness. I mean, if the order expires, why are we still arguing about it? And so the judge asked him, are you just going to let this whimper and die and we can be done? And the governor's lawyer said, nope, we're coming right back at you. We're going
to come back at you.
Yeah.
And of course, the governor's lawyers came out and made all these arguments about statistics and how we need to address it, and in some manner or another, we need to stop gun violence, as if them putting a sign up at a park that says "No guns allowed" is going to make a murderer, or some guy who's planning on mass murder or rape or something at gunpoint is going to stop them. They're going to go, "Oh, look, I can't have a gun here. I guess I'll leave." I was going to commit first-degree murder, but this public health order, I don't want to violate that.
Yeah. So you can imagine, sometimes I have a little fun in court, and I actually stood in front of the judge and I said, you know, Judge, when's the last time you heard of a criminal coming up to a gun-free zone, looking at the sign and going, "Aw," and walking away?
I quit. So basically, we made all these arguments. There was some argument about standing and mootness, but in the end, today, the judge says, I'm not going to rule in the preliminary injunction yet. I'm going to do that by October 11th. I am, however, going to extend the temporary restraining order against the governor and her amended public health order until that point. In other words, while I make a decision. Now, it's tough to read a judge, but the simple fact is, I'm not sure how the judge could rule anything other than this is vague. You can't do this, Judge, and throw it out.
You know you're in pretty good position. And again, I'm not predicting what the judge is going to do. Who knows? But you know you've made your point when the governor's lawyer stands up and starts making all these interest balancing means test arguments, by which I mean, look, there's a big problem. We got to do something. The judge says, Bruin says, I can't do that.
That's
not my job.
That. That's literally what the judge said. That's over with.
Yeah.
He corrected the
governor's. This is a Biden appointee. Yeah, when you're not convincing a Biden appointee, I think you're in pretty good shape.
Time to pack it up and go home.
Yeah.
We'll let you know what happens. Stay tuned.